When the McLaren F1 team counts on speed, they count on Dropbox Dash. Dash finds what you need fast across all your work apps so you can focus on what matters. Learn more at dropbox.com/McLaren F1.
Welcome to the Tour Coach Podcast. I'm Tony Ruggiero here, as I always am, your host. And you're joining in on what we are now having as the Tour Coach Minis. And those are little 10-minute conversations with myself or Jackson Court, who's going to be hosting some of this. Most of you are all familiar with Jackson, great young teacher, now at Atlantic Beach Country Club. These will be 10-minute conversations and musings from around the world of golf, from around our travels, our friends, our players, other coaches, to give you more Tour Coach, more Dew Sweeper content during the week. We've got some exciting stuff coming up for each and every one of you. If you like what you hear on the podcast, you can always find more content as we're kind of spreading our wings, if you will, with Dew Sweepers TV on YouTube. And there's links to it in our description. Please support the Dew Sweepers and like our page there on YouTube. And to kick all of this off, we've got a great promotion running through Masters Sunday. And if you go onto our YouTube page and subscribe, and on any of the videos in the comments section, you just put hashtag Dew Sweeper TV. That's hashtag Dew Sweeper TV. Or you take a screenshot of this podcast, and on Instagram, you tag me at the Dew Sweeper and hashtag Dew Sweeper TV. We're going to sign you up for a drawing on Monday after the Masters for a set of Srixon irons, ZX 4, 5s, or 7s, 12 gloves of your size, and 12 dozen balls. We're going to do that drawing Monday after the Masters. You can check the links in the description part of this podcast, or for a link to it, go to YouTube TV, type in Dew Sweeper TV, and watch some of the videos, listen to it, put in hashtag Dew Sweeper TV or hashtag Pro Work or hashtag Tour Coach, and you will register for the drawing the Monday after the Masters. That's a set of Srixon irons, 12 dozen gloves your size, 12 dozen Srixon golf balls, all to make you play better. And just like the Dew Sweepers radio show or the Tour Coach podcast, the Tour Coach Minis are brought to you by our friends at Srixon Golf, our friends at Bushnell, Buick, GMC, especially Mitch McConnell and McConnell Automotive, and you can't forget Vineyard Vines that keep us all looking good. So enjoy this episode of the Tour Coach Mini. And we're here with all the golf content you could ever want each and every week. All right, so this is a big moment for me here on the Tour Coach Podcast. It's the first of the Dew Sweeper Tour Coach Minis that I've hosted. Jackson K. Golf's been doing most of these, and we're excited about them. But I get to bring you Morgan Hale. Morgan Hale Performance with me. Been my sidekick, partner in crime, one of the best at it for 11 years now. We've made it 11 years together. She's an unbelievable teacher, one of the best in state, but one of the best ever, and obviously does so much on the golf fitness side. I've been fortunate enough to have her. I knew once we started working together, I was like, I got to have this right here working with us all the time. So, Momo, I know this hasn't always been your favorite thing, but we're branching out. This is the year of Momo branching out, getting you a little more exposure, putting out some content. Thanks for sitting in. And we're just going, this is a mini. It's only 10 minutes. We're going to have some fun and talk a little bit about your journey. I want you first talk a little bit about how you came up and what made you want to teach and coach.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, T. Of course, this is not my favorite thing, but after 11 years, I guess I owe you a podcast with just us two. So, a little bit about my journey. So, played college golf, and then got into coaching and knew I didn't want to play after college and knew I loved being on the other side of the bag, coaching, teaching. Moved to Mobile, where I was lucky enough to meet you at the Country Club of Mobile. One of the best things to happen, I would say. And
that's where you became a mini Tony.
That's right, I did.
That's what Ray calls it. A mini T.
I would think that's a compliment to be a mini T. So I would think that would be one of my goals early on. So, just started at the Country Club in Mobile, got into teaching, I remember one of the first things you said, what do you want to do in the golf industry? Do you want to teach? Do you, what route do you want to take? And I remember saying, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to teach. And so you basically took me under your wing, and that's where it all began.
I'll be honest, when we first started working together, I kind of thought you might want to go into the college coaching arena, to be honest, because you were really connected with MTSU, like a lot of your friends. I actually thought for a while, I knew you were crazy talented and I knew like you were driven, but I kind of thought that you might for a bit want to go the college coaching route a little bit. And, I kind of watched that. I stepped back and but that was interesting watching that. Was that kind of something for a little bit you thought of?
Definitely. I think that's exactly the route I was going to take. I think I had my mind set on college coaching, and, moving down to Mobile was just kind of fast paced, spur of the moment. And it just kind of fell into my lap. But that was definitely the route I wanted to take until I got there and started teaching with you and learning. And I quickly changed my direction. Figured I could always go back to that if that's something I wanted to do. But, fell in love with teaching and coaching individuals and helping them and, seeing them improve and get better. And, I knew immediately once we started working, that's what I wanted to do.
All right. So you've grown a bunch as a teacher. You've also I don't know when you started. You were always into fitness. Of course, everybody's into fitness more than me, but you were like, you were crazy into the fitness side. I remember the first couple times like that Colby came up to Mobile. I could tell like you were like, oh, okay, I want to see this. When did you start seeing like, hey, I can take teaching and fitness and combine this in what I do? Because I think it's interesting. Like you're there at the building at 5:30 in the morning working people out, and then you're teaching, and then you're working people out. And it also has been so important for me and for what I've built. And like we're obviously people are finding this out now live. Like we're going to be offering days where you can come and train with you, work with me, work with us together, and do short game with Hack and stuff like that. When did you start? What was the deal that pushed you into the fitness, and what are some of the influences and things that help push you that way too?
Yeah, so I think individually I was always into fitness, just myself. As far as that side, I majored in nutrition and food science. So I loved, the health side of it, and individually knew what I wanted as far as that went. But I think meeting Colby, I remember one of the first times, I think Mobile, but also down in Panama City, and I got to talking to him about what he was doing at that time in Louisiana, is where he was, and I knew that I was super interested in that. I studied a lot of that. I understood the body, and I, wanted to dive deeper into that and that side of it. And then when we started putting the two and two together, and I started learning more under him and how, smart he was with the body and how it connected, and then teaching with you and learning more and more, each year under that, and how we could make somebody better, faster by putting those two things together hand in hand. And I think that's really what changed it for me. Is I love to teach, individuals, whether it's on the fitness side or the golf side, either way. Just, I love to help, people get better at whatever they're trying to get better at. And, being able to go back and forth between both of those, I think it was, pretty soon after that we started doing a lot of that together. And I would say, Colby had probably the biggest influence on me wanting to do that.
It's funny to me, not funny, but like how much the fitness side, if you turn on Instagram now, you would think everybody in the world's been doing it forever, the fitness side and the golf side together with bands. But Colby and I laugh all the time. I remember the first time him and I, or you and I, pulled out fitness bands and we put it on Instagram. Everybody was like, what the hell is this, right? But now it's pretty commonplace. But it's wild to me how much the two if you want to really get better, and especially for young people or people that are really trying to be competitive, how much the two worlds of golf fitness and performance has merged with the instruction, and how close we work together with the student. And we did it today with obviously a father and a daughter, but we had a young player in there from college. We've got a young player in there that I think, going to school up in Connecticut, man, like his speed, crazy good. It's fun, but like, to me, if you want to be really good, you have to merge those two deals together to get better.
Yeah, I think exactly that. We had 3 completely different people there today. So where we had the young kid from Connecticut, he was super talented, but, some things that you were trying to get him to do in the swing, and we wanted to figure out, is it something that he physically couldn't do, or is it just that we needed to give him the right movements to be able to get there, and so that he could feel what he was actually trying to do in the golf swing. And I think that made immediate impact, because once we did that with the bands, we took the bands away and he could perform. So I think that told us that he can get there. That's more of a learned movement, and having the correct exercises to go along with his plan helped him get there faster.
So look, last question, because this is a Dew Sweeper Mini, and I promised you for your big solo we wouldn't make it long. To me, one of the coolest things about what we do has been the fact that aside from the eval, I think everybody out there now does some evals, right? That's not like big news. But, more so using the fitness side, training and exercises away from the ball and away from with a club, hitting a shot, to help people learn movement patterns, to me is more cutting edge, and it's more where we're headed. Talk a little bit about how you've seen that, and because I think that's phenomenal, and you touched on it with the people we saw. It's not just about making you more flexible or more stable or more strong or stronger or whatever, but it's helping you learn new movements. And I think that's what separates what you do and how we all work together from what other people do.
Right. So, for instance, we had somebody today where, they were performing an exercise that they had seen, or, possibly they had seen us do, but performing it wrong and, not performing it the correct way. He wasn't even touching the correct muscle groups that we were trying to get him to do in the swing. So he wasn't able to perform the right movement pattern because his exercise he was doing was not the right form. So I think that's super important, is learning, not only knowing the exercise you're trying to do, the right form. That's our job, to teach him the right way to do it.
You talked today about how important form was too.
Right.
And I think that's something that gets overlooked a bunch. Like people, and word of caution for people that copy our shit out there on Instagram, right? And it's okay. I've had a glass of wine, but just because you get a guy to pull a band, if his foot's all over the place, and it reminds me of the one time, a guy, he put the box in the wrong place, right? Like form matters, right? So back.
Yes. So back to form, where I was.
Sorry, Momo.
So exactly, though. You can perform a lot of the exercises and never touch the muscle group we're looking for in the pivot. And, I think that's, if you're trying to correct the movement pattern, or, help a guy or girl figure out what they're trying to do in their swing, then that exercise needs to match up. So that the exercise needs to match up with what you're trying to do in the swing to create that movement pattern and to be able to make the change, especially at a higher speed.
Momo, this has been awesome. This is your debut, your solo debut here on the Tour Coach. Anybody out there, if you're listening to us, check out, she's launching a new YouTube page. It's out there now, at Morgan Hale Performance. You can also find her on Instagram under the same thing, at Morgan Hale Performance. She's in a lot of the videos that we put up as well. But if you're looking to make a change, looking to get better, follow Morgan Hale Performance. Momo, thanks for, first of all, wonderful 11 years. I know pretty soon we've probably got some big news and announcements for you on the business front. I can't tell you how proud I am of you and how much it means to you. You've been with me for 11 years. I love you, kid. You're the best. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, T. Love you.
I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Icebox Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room, and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near the Dew Sweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool. You got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out. But do yourself a favor. Go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there. Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler. But look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com. Use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper.